Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your July astrological overview. Wow, July is going to feel a lot more spacious and forward moving, I believe, than June did, because we will clear the shadow of Mercury retrograde. We're going to experience some astrology in the sign of Leo, which is a fire sign, very activating. We're also going to feel some activating energy from some of the outer planets. So all the stuff that has been brewing, let's say, during this past Mercury retrograde that went on during June, may finally get a little bit cleared up, and people will begin taking some steps forward. That should be good news for many of us. The day we officially clear that Mercury retrograde shadow is July the 8th. However, even as early as the beginning of July, I think we'll be feeling ready to get going on things. I always call the shadow phase of a retrograde kind of the yellow light. So when we're not in a shadow of any inner planet retrograde, I see that as green light, stomp on the gas. When it's actually in the retrograde phase of any inner planet retrograde, it's kind of a red light. You kind of got to just wait it out, look behind you, see what you can resolve behind you before moving forward. But during these shadow phases, I think of it as a yellow light. Proceed with caution. Things might still be a bit sticky, but we're not in the actual retrograde. So I hope that kind of helps. I had a client ask about this recently, and hopefully that kind of clears up the philosophy on these retrogrades. Now, the new moon, fortunately, is the day after we clear the shadow of Mercury retrograde. So July's new moon is on July the 9th at 18 degrees of Cancer, a Cancer new moon. Fabulous time for intention setting, especially anything to do with your home, with real estate, with your family or living situation. There's that type of theme associated with the sign of Cancer. Of course, you can set any kind of intentions that are meaningful to you at every new moon, and you can combine the way you set intentions with the sign of the new moon and what house it falls in your chart personally. This is a way to take your intention setting to the next level. If you're wondering, how the heck do I find that house? I've actually made a how-to video on this topic, and it's in the Astro 101 playlist, and it's finding the new moon in your chart. Maybe check that out if you don't know the layout of your chart. You can learn how to do that. Now, Mercury will move into Cancer July 11th. So you can see we're definitely feeling Cancer season as we start month of July. New moon in Cancer, Mercury moving into Cancer. This is definitely going to have everybody's mind on what makes them feel secure. You know, with Mercury ruling thoughts and decision making, we're probably apt to pick the route that feels the safest and the most secure. That's not a bad thing. There's other energies sort of stirring things up to where this could be kind of an anchor, almost a voice of reason at times. Now, some of the fiery, exciting astrology this month involves Mars and Venus conjunction in the sign of Leo on July 13th. Mars-Venus conjunctions are very fun. They usually highlight relationships. They're both relationship planets. They highlight our ability to connect, to maybe bridge the gap between the differences between Venus, which is a little more attractive, passive, bringing things to them. Mars, a little more aggressive, going for it, going and getting what you want. This can make a nice balance between those energies. And I think a lot of relationships do well Leo is such a romantic sign. So we've got that to look forward to on the 13th. Now Venus will move from the sign of Leo into Virgo July 21st. This could put you in more of a practical mindset. I think when Venus is in Leo, we all want to play a little bit more. When Venus moves over into Virgo, we get a little bit more mindful about the things that we need to do. And we can still make it fun for ourselves, but it's a little more task oriented. So don't worry if you're putting things off all month. Around July 21st, that Venus in Virgo should kick in, help you get back on your to-do list. Now we're going to have the sun move into Leo July 22nd. We'll feel that shift too. That's definitely a playful and romantic energy. And then the next day is the full moon in Aquarius at 1 degree Aquarius on July 23rd. That full moon can definitely highlight our desire for freedom, our desire to do things differently, break out of old ruts and routines. It's also a good energy for group projects coming to fruition, for tapping into our networks and maybe our communities working together for a common cause. So that's one of my favorite full moons for sure, Aquarius full moon. Then we're going to have Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Pisces all month until July 28th. So Jupiter got itself up to 2 degrees of Pisces starting back in mid-May, and on July 28th, it has now retrograded. It's going to go back at 29 Aquarius and finish its Aquarian journey. Now, Jupiter will station direct October 18th, and at that point, it will start moving towards Pisces again, and it will re-enter Pisces December 28th, setting us up for the year 2022, mostly with Jupiter and Pisces. So what we've been having is kind of the sneak preview. What does Jupiter feel like in Pisces? It's kind of a magical energy where people's dreams feel a little more possible. People are maybe daring to dream a little more. When it goes back into Aquarius, I think it can help with maybe some of the logistics of the things we have been dreaming of. And in retrograde, it's a lot of inner workings. We tend to work on things that help us create our own luck. It's harder to attract things from external sources, I would say, when Jupiter is retrograde, but we certainly can have plenty of self-generated opportunities during this time when we make the most of it. So that's some of the stuff going on with one of the outer planets. The other things going on are the Saturn-Uranus square and the Neptune-Pluto sextile, and that's 2 whole other videos. This video would get very long if I started outlining all of that. So I'll just mention that's happening this month. If you want to learn more about either the Saturn-Uranus square or the Neptune-Pluto sextile, check out the Astrology of 2021 playlist. Those topics are in there. And I should mention too, I love doing these video overviews. I can hit some of the biggest highlights, but again, the video would be super long if I tried to get everything in there. Where I put a lot more detail is in a monthly article I do called the Astrological Edge, and that's available to subscribers of janspiller.com. It's pretty low monthly subscription fee. You can check it out in the link in this video description, and you will get a lot more in-depth information about the upcoming astrology every month. And this was a pretty important article. It was something Jan wrote for years and years, and it was actually published in Del Horoscope magazine. And when Jan passed on, I took over writing it, and I wrote it for Del Horoscope for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years until that magazine sadly ended. I love Del Horoscope. But now the article still lives on, Jan's original baby of the Astrological Edge. So I really wanted to mention that. I love having this available for free for everybody on YouTube. I think it's really important to keep astrology accessible to all, but then we also have to keep our website going. So I had to mention the subscription article just for those who might be interested in that. And when you subscribe, you get a ton of other written information that I provide. So I hope you'll consider that. Thank you so much for watching, and there'll be more videos coming your way. Be safe and be well. I'll see you next time.